Welcome to the second half of our episode of Chocobo Chasers. You just heard our interview with Dice K Suji. And we want to thank Dice K for agreeing to come on the show. Definitely one of our biggest guests in terms of he is the main character in this huge PlayStation production. Also, just recently playing Scorpion, who is Dash mentioned in the episode, probably the most iconic character from the entire franchise. If you look at cover art of all of the Mortal Kombat games, Scorpion or Sub-Zero is basically on the cover of every single one, except for Mortal Kombat 1. So definitely really appreciated him agreeing to come on, and we had a really good time with him. So I'm stoked as hell for who we have coming up next. And we had a really, really good time with this next interview too. So stay tuned. It's going to be a fucking blast. So, as we typically do, go ahead and do. I'm here, joined by the Chocobros, Eric and Dash. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Fantastic.
Good.
Going through the grind.
Yeah. We're going to start our second half tonight talking about what are you playing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to kick us off tonight. I have talked about in our Discord for a while. I've been waiting for a game to go on sale. Finally bit the bullet, bought it. That game is the Dead Space remake. And as someone who never played the original game, I have been very, very excited. One, because I am a huge survival horror fan. I love Resident Evil. I love Silent Hill. And this is survival horror, but in space. I love Alien Isolation, and it reminds me of a lot of that. This game is terrifying. I will say I'm about 3.5 hours in. It is so scary. From a
You play with the light on?
No, I'm playing it in the dark. I've got my surround sound headphones on. Okay, so it's scary. And the thing that I have found that I get most scared of, there are points throughout the game where there'll be explosions in the airlock and you lose your oxygen and there's no sound. And so you'll just be moving to try and get to the next, point where you can get oxygen back. If there's one of the things there, you cannot hear them coming up behind you. You'll see something at the very last second. I'm like, I'm fucking sprinting to get out of there. Honestly, 3.5 hours in, this game could very well make its way into my game of the year conversation. As somebody who's never played it before, I'm having an absolute blast. Don't know that it could ever do enough to necessarily unseat game of the year, because as of right now, I'm pretty confident in what I've got for my choice. And that's definitely something we will be discussing as the Game Awards actually just got announced. So, something we're going to be keeping our eye on for sure. But that's kind of the main thing that I've been playing. I've dabbled in a few other games as well. Played a little bit of Star Wars Jedi Survivor again. I thought about potentially platinuming the game. I'm having such a hard time getting used to the control scheme after playing Final Fantasy 16 so much. Did end up platinuming that this week, and was an absolute blast. Definitely wasn't as grindy as I thought it was going to be, and honestly just had a really good time. So Dash, I'll pass it on to you, man. What are you playing?
For once, there's only one game I've been playing for the past week, and I did not touch a single other game in that whole time, and that's been Cyberpunk. And I'm probably almost done. I have that point of no return mission already there for me, but there's a lot of side shit that I still haven't unlocked, and it seems like it's all time based, right? And I'll randomly get called by someone and be able to continue that.
Yep.
I did Pan Am, I did River, Carrie, and I think I just got the call for Judy's final mission now. And I also started the Fan Liberty stuff. So I got the mission where you have to go see Solomon Reed, and then I haven't gotten to do any more since then. But I have a feeling I could probably finish it by this weekend at this point.
I think you probably will.
Which hopefully that's my goal, because I need to get on Ghost of Tsushima, because I have 9 days till Spider-Man 2 comes out. So
it's fucking close.
I'm gonna need the hard drive space. So if I could just complete Ghost of Tsushima, I'll clear the memory and get some space for Spider-Man 2 ready. But I mean, as someone who never got to experience Cyberpunk beforehand, I'm really having a blast. And even though, we're seeing a lot of this discourse on Twitter right now where because of their close proximity and release with Phantom Liberty and Starfield, everybody's like drawing comparisons. And these are kind of different games.
Very different.
They share aspects and stuff, but a lot of people are drawing comparisons, and it's not working to the benefit of Starfield at this point. Let's just say that.
I would definitely agree. It's as somebody who didn't necessarily love Starfield, but we'll dive in again.
I mean, like I put 80 hours in this Starfield. It's a good game. It's a good, like if you love exploration, there's a lot of great stuff there. But like when it comes to RPG stuff, I feel like all these characters I'm working with in Cyberpunk, they're memorable. There's all these side quests, and it doesn't feel like it's just go to point A, go point B. Like you actually have conversations with these characters, and they have depth and they have reasonings. It's kind of like, oh, do I really want to side with them, or are they a bigger asshole than they're letting me to believe? Like there's and Cyberpunk's just full of these gray choices where it's just like you don't know which one to do because both of them kind of feel bad. But like there's one mission in particular that pissed me off in Cyberpunk, and it's very rare that this happened. And usually, I didn't care I failed this mission, but it's like some dude just wanted me to like tail some car so that he could get revenge on some murderer. And this asshole, like, I got the car we're chasing got like 50 meters away. I could see that bitch right down the road still. And he kicks me out of the car and says, "You let him get away." I'm like, what the fuck? I can catch up. What is this? It was the most annoying. Like, I've had chase missions where they're like 200 meters away and it still lets
Just
you
follow the damn train, CJ.
Yeah, like it was so obnoxious. I got pissed off. I'm like, it ruined my day. I'm like, fuck this dude. And then he texts me. He's like, "You're not worth anything. Fuck you." Like, I'm telling the fixer, "You're not worth the eddies." I'm like, God damn, this guy's an asshole.
What a gonk, man.
Yeah, it's like, who knew I'd get so pissed off about a video game character insulting me?
That River Ward questline is really fucked up.
Also, we need more romance options, honestly. Like,
there are some, but they are gender based.
Yeah, well, so what? Yeah, I think I looked online, and it's just kind of like you have, like, it's either by your voice or your body. So it's like you have to have masculine voice or body for Carrie or Panam, and a feminine voice or body for Judy and River.
I think River's actually one that will do either, because he definitely was trying to give me the business on my playthrough for sure.
He wanted the V Schmeat in my campaign in my little playthrough as well.
That's what it seems like. But then, I read online. Someone says that like their dialogue interactions and text are like the same, regardless of if they're romanceable or not. So it's kind of like sus. I know, like I definitely got that feeling with Carrie, where like we're breaking apart this fucking yacht, and like there's like the one part where you help him break something down, it gets you face to face with him. Like, I'm not even romancing this dude. Stop. But I'm like, can I romance River's sister or sister-in-law or whatever?
Dash is like, single mother. Hello.
Because she's kind of coming on to you. You get that vibe where she's kind of coming on to you, and then like even in the text, like River's just like, yeah, she says hi. I'm like, oh man, she wants you.
Oh my god.
The single mom wants someone to help raise those kids. I mean, you even have that little fun mission where you're playing with the kids and do like the little VR stuff.
The little
there's so much memorable shit in this game. God damn.
There is.
That's why I am enjoying doing all this side content. It's not feeling like a grind going to point A, point B just to get out of the way. Like, I'm actually enjoying this shit.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to finish the game though, but like I probably have like 60 hours on this total. So it's been quite the experience, and there's loads of content. So definitely great comeback for Cyberpunk. I know it didn't have the best start, but like this plus the 2.0 and Phantom Liberty, I can't judge it for what what is before. I mean, I've seen the bugs, I've seen the glitches and stuff. There are still those kind of glitches here and there I've experienced, like people stand in the middle of the cars and shit, but it's not
The old T-pose just
Yeah.
down the street.
not the T-posing at least, but like there's like one of those cutscenes where it's just like you have like NPCs standing inside of each other where you push one NPC, but there's still the NPC just standing there right where the NPC was. It's just minor shit, but it's nothing that ruins the experience. And at least, my computer can run it and it seems optimized for the most part. I mean, there are times where it crashes on me here and there, but thankfully autosave exists. That's something modern gaming has given us that, I know like older games we didn't have autosave, so you forget to save and the game crashes or something and you lose like 5 hours.
Of playthrough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
First game I really remember doing that well was KOTOR. Remember the first Knights of the Old Republic did that really well. It always had like 3 or 4 autosaves for you.
Like games that didn't have like, well, it had autosaves, but the checkpoints were so frustrating. If you ever played Jack 2, like you do like the fucking sewer mission where you have to go through like all these waves of enemies while protecting these 3 NPCs to get this key. And if one of them dies or if you die, you got to start that bitch all over from the beginning. Oh man. Anyways, that's all for me. I have my old Cyberpunk fest.
Eric, what about you, man? What are you playing?
Man, look, I had spent so much time on Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 like the past 2 months that I needed like a week to just chill. So I did that by playing some Counter-Strike and some Valorant like I've been doing the past 2 weeks before that.
That's how you
a
unwind.
lot less toxic this past weekend, but still fun. I got my first ace in actually this might have been it was last night. I got my first ace in Counter-Strike 2. And I've never even aced in Valorant, so I'm not even gonna talk like I'm good. I suck at both games, to be honest with you. But dunked on some kids with a sniper rifle, made me feel good. And then I'll probably pick up Cyberpunk Friday or Saturday sometime.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, you haven't played since 2.0 and Phantom Liberty, have you?
I've got through the prologue basically, like Act 1. I'm in Act 2. Just got to the part where you get out and you get what's Jackie croaks.
Yep.
Oh, man. So something that we actually kind of forgot to discuss last week, because it was the first episode of October, we have October releases, and this month has been just a continuation of what has been just an incredibly strong year in gaming. So in October, so far, we've already had Assassin's Creed Mirage release, Detective Pikachu Returns. We've had the Arkham trilogy go ahead and come out for the Switch. Lords of the Fallen comes out this week. Sonic Superstars comes out early next week. We've got Spider-Man 2, which comes out next week. We have got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which launches on the same day as Spider-Man 2. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 comes out October 24th. Ghost Runner 2, October 26th. And then we end the month with a bang with Alan Wake 2. Just honestly a fucking loaded month. It's kind of insane that we've been able to continue just this impressive trend of having not just a huge quantity of games, but it also seems like the quality has been very good. So obviously I know all of us are pretty stoked for Spider-Man 2. That's kind of the main one. I am very excited for Alan Wake 2, especially it's getting a lot of parallels to Resident Evil 2, which is in my top 5 games of all time, probably the best survival horror game I've ever played. And just a lot of good things coming. And as we transition into this period where we're still going to have a lot of games coming out, but just not to the same standard or speed that we've had throughout August, September, October, because the that Q3 of this year has probably been one of the more stacked timeframes I've ever seen from gaming, to the point where you're seeing games move out of this slot because they don't want to compete. So it's just wild. Talking about October games as well, as I mentioned, Assassin's Creed Mirage has gone ahead and released. It got decent reviews. You know, I think it's sitting right around like a 78 Metacritic score, which is, you know, that's our Days Gone range, like a 7 to 8 game. It mentions that it really does revert a lot back to kind of those Assassin's Creed like 1, 2, 3 roots. Some of the issues people have with it is they think it kind of reverts a little bit too much back to those roots. It does that, but not integrating modern gameplay. But that being said, a lot of us have just wanted to go back to that Assassin's Creed formula, which, you know, actual assassins, not this just giant empty open world RPG. And so I'm definitely going to pick it up. It's a $20 game for me. As soon as it hits that price point, I'll for sure pick it up. You know, see it on sale anywhere, I'll be happy to do that. But, you know, it's definitely kind of not unexpected, especially there were a few telltale signs that we saw. One, it was released very inexpensive, and there was that $10 promo if you were to buy it a little early. Just a few things here and there that were like, maybe this isn't the title they're, you know, fully invested in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that Assassin's Creed Red, I think it is, that they're set in Japan.
Which would be fucking dope, honestly.
That's what people have been wanting for years.
Yeah, give me all the like Japanese games like set in feudal Japan. Give me that Ghost of Tsushima sequel, because
it's going to be unfortunate if they release that around the same time as Ghost of Tsushima too, because they're gonna get cooked,
just fucking annihilated.
I mean, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima kind of does Assassin's Creed in Japan already. So how are they going to compete with that formula?
Well, and they do it better too. Yeah. Because Ghost of Tsushima has the crispiest combat of like almost any game I've ever played. And the weird thing is I thought it would bother me so bad not being able to lock on to people. Well, not really.
It's so fluid the way you'll be surrounded by a bunch of people and
you can't lock on to people. I thought you could.
You can. I think so.
In Ghost of Tsushima, I don't think you can.
I'm positive. I think you can.
I don't think I use it, but I feel like you can.
I'm pretty sure you can.
But like at least now that I'm in like the second part of the island, now you have the Straw Hat Ronin to fight, and oh my god.
Oh dude, those fights are so sick.
And
then the duels. The duels are really amazing.
Maybe it does now, but when Ghost originally launched, it did not have a lock-on mechanic.
Okay. I played about a year. No, not a year, probably 5-6 months after, and it had one for me.
Okay. I know that like Jin focuses on a like specific target, but there isn't like an actual lock on like R1 or L1 that you typically see in some of these other games. But Dash, something you talked about a little bit earlier, which I wanted to hit on. So Cyberpunk is having this incredible revival where you can tell they invested a lot of man hours, a lot of money, and just a lot of resources into rebuilding this game, rebuilding their image. Because you got to figure not Cyberpunk, but CD Projekt Red was a studio that was held in like pretty high fucking claim based on their work on the Witcher series. In a very rare case where every single game was better than the previous iteration. Witcher 1, good storytelling, bad combat, and it looked okay. Witcher 2 looked actually pretty good for when it released. Better combat, storytelling, again, very good. Witcher 3, arguably the best looking game of the PS4, and the PS5 version looks incredible. Amazing storytelling. Combat, it's good, but
they
it's
improved it a lot after it came out.
Yeah. So, but to have that huge acclaim and then following it up with Cyberpunk, which Cyberpunk from a writing standpoint checks all of the boxes that you'd look for in a game. from a technical standpoint, obviously there was a lot of issues, and there's not to say that there's not issues still. You'll get just like Dash was saying, you're going to run into your occasional bug, going to have an occasional crash. I think in my run through of the main story plus Phantom Liberty, I had a crash, maybe two. So I mean, nothing too extreme. And for a game that is so resource heavy, because it does look absolutely brilliant.
Heck, I don't even play on max settings and it looks phenomenal. So
yeah.
if I had a more powerful PC, I really wonder how
man.
much better. And you see those videos on Twitter where people are posting like the Cyberpunk, and they're like, why are they switching the engine to Unreal? This already looks amazing.
I think a big part of that
On
is
Ultra, dude, it looks insane.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think a big part of that is I think it might just be cheaper to do it that way. Video game costs are rising, and it came out that CD Projekt Red had to invest an additional $127 million into making the game better. So
I feel like they got their money back with how much
they got their money easily the first time, because over 30 million people have bought and played Cyberpunk, which is insane numbers for a first game in a new
I think it was like 3 million picked up Phantom Liberty already.
Yeah. So and it will be more. I think people were waiting to see like, hey, is this going to break my game? Is it, there's caution from buyers, and that is totally understandable based on the circumstances that have already happened. But Phantom Liberty rocks. Idris Elba is awesome in it. Story's good. I found Dev Wild's character in the game and shot her in the face.
Oh,
and
I knew it was Dev, so I was a bit more.
I didn't know that before, or else I probably would have played things a little bit differently. But yeah, I totally shot her in the face. So.
I'm assuming that's only your only interaction with her is on that short little gig, though. So
now that if she's alive in your playthrough, she's probably in Dogtown and other places too. So
gotta keep an eye out for her then.
Yeah. So in addition to investing all this money, CD Projekt Red came out themselves and said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we're also making a Cyberpunk movie, live action." So
and two,
along with
early development, it started.
Yeah. The next big project they're doing is the new Witcher game. They're coordinating with another studio to make the Witcher 1 remake. They're making a multiplayer Witcher game, and that could mean a million different things. It doesn't necessarily mean they're making like a Witcher, battle royale, which I wouldn't hate that, honestly. It sounds like a lot of fun, but
they could make it like a hunt showdown where it's just like you maybe teams work hunting down the beast and you can fight each other.
Just do a bunch of different Witchers and stuff.
As a huge Hunt Dick Rider, I will I'd play the shit out of that.
Eric is going to be the first to pre-order. So
yeah, Hunt's a fan. If you enjoy multiplayer experiences, Hunt's
pretty good one.
Very, very top tier.
Awesome. So one thing that literally got announced today is a new PS5 is coming. There have been rumors. We've seen some leaked images, and those images turned out to be correct. PS5 Slim announced today, and really not a whole lot of big difference. There is a removable disk drive, though, for the disk version. And I think that I honestly wish there was just one version and you could just switch between the two. They did increase the price slightly on the digital version, which, I mean, that's the people who buys its choice, I suppose. But and then they also did announce that the hard drive is a little bigger on the base model. So a full terabyte, the original I think is about 850. So you're getting another 100. Hey, you could fit you could fit half a Call of Duty in there. So yeah, we've hit a point now where I'm fully expecting Xbox to come out at some point here within the next few months and announce a newer Xbox Series X, maybe a digital version. I think a removable disk drive is a really big advantage. If they could have something like that be accessible for like a Series S, that'd be huge. So definitely something to kind of watch out for. But some big news coming out today. In addition to that news today, we also got some what I think is pretty good news in Unity CEO stepping down. Unity CEO John Riccitiello is, he's kind of a piece of shit, to be honest. Just not necessarily a good human being. And for all of the comments and all of the noise that's been made about Unity's very questionable practices over the last few weeks, this seems like a move of a company who knew that they needed to make a extravagant change, and they needed to make one now. So we've come to this point where there's been such bad backlash, and my guess is that they were starting to see impact financially, where companies were pulling out of Unity, out of using it for their engine, because you had seen many public statements saying this exact thing. And now it'll be interesting to see how they try to rebound. I think a big part of that is going to be who they put in charge of things, because this CEO, Mr. Riccitiello, was previously the CEO at EA and already had a track record for being just kind of a huge shitbag. So when he becomes the Unity CEO, you can't really expect anything else. Wanted to get your guys' take as well. This is obviously a pretty huge. We are just recently had the news of PlayStation CEO stepping down. Here's kind of another monumental shift of changing the guard for another large scale gaming company.
Let's hope it works out.
I was gonna say, hopefully it makes them backtrack on their bullshit.
I don't think they fully did it yet either. That's the thing. Like he's left, but I don't think they fully retracted their plans.
Yeah, they'll probably have to get somebody else in there new and then just reassess everything. Because what they were supposed to do that at like the first of the year, correct?
I believe so.
You'll probably have an announcement of a new one probably 2 weeks, within 2 weeks, probably. And then after that, you'll probably have another week. Then we'll probably see a roadmap for them trying to fix everything. 1st of November.
Definitely possible. It'd be so funny is if the PlayStation CEO decided to become their CEO.
And then he just goes to PlayStation and gets a job, because he'll just get another CEO job, even though his stops at EA and fucking Unity have now backfired tremendously.
Jim Ryan did a lot of really good things for Sony, leading them into the tail years of the PlayStation 4, which was probably some of my favorite period of gaming. And helping this company kind of find its way through the pandemic with a chip shortage, and finding different ways to make PlayStations more accessible to people in a time which they weren't. He also made some very critical failures, huge over-reliance on games as a service and what it could potentially be, because there is so few games in that space that actually do work, and the ones that do, you have to invest so much time and so much money. You don't really have time to focus on those other projects. So I think that was part of why he's no longer CEO. I know he publicly came out and said, "Oh, it's the travel." You say whatever you need to when you're being pushed out, or you're retiring. If you're really good at your job, people will throw money at you to make sure you don't retire. So I think that this was probably a situation where they're ready to move on. And I think that I don't think that in any universe they would ever consider this dude as a possibility. You never know, but it's just, I think that they need to focus on getting somebody in there who's player centric. Get a gamer in there. That's why I mentioned in our previous episode, I really think Helman Holst would be a very good choice, coming from Guerrilla and now leading PlayStation Studios. Like, he is a gamer and he understands what it takes to build new IPs. He understands what it takes to expand on those IPs. Just, kind of something to watch out for. But ultimately, it's a good thing this Unity CEO is stepping down. I think it's good for gamers. I think it's good for developers. Let's get all of these shitbags. Let's get the Bobby Kotick's out of gaming. Like, let's get this John Riccitello's out of gaming. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I am very, very interested to see how a lot of these companies kind of take their next step and what that evolution looks like. So transitioning from bad to good here, one company that has been very, very good in the press as of late is Remedy. So for those who are unaware, Remedy Studios has created the Max Payne games. They have created Control. They have created Alan Wake, and they kind of fully lean into the weird, which is something that we kind of need more of. It's like indie feelings at a AAA level. They recently announced that Max Payne 1 and 2, which is getting a remake, is looking to be a huge project. So they're going to release both as a single game. This was really important for me because Max Payne 2 was one of my favorite games growing up. I felt like it was one of those situations where, it created a game that provided a unique way of storytelling. So they've announced that they're kind of pushing into full production. Alan Wake 2 is done. We'll have to kind of see what that looks like from them. Did you guys ever play any of the Max Payne games?
Oh yeah,
I played one.
I grew up on them too. So 1 and 2 I played through as a kid, basically.
Fuck yeah. Mona Sachs was Bay for a little while. I'll be very interested to see if they get, some of the same voice actors and everything for the games that they had in those ones, because man, they were great.
Yeah.
But definitely, just really exciting things coming in the pipeline from them. And they've kind of just had home run after home run. Alan Wake 2 looks like it's going to be a huge success. We'll kind of have to see, how things go. So Prime Days is going on right now. And in response to Prime Days, you're seeing a lot of companies, Best Buy, GameStop, and even more, do a ton of insanely good deals for games right now. So if you're in the, headspace right now of looking for computer parts, looking for games, controllers, all that kind of stuff, definitely be on the watch out, because you are going to see a lot of huge deals. I saw Xbox storage for nearly 50% off, PlayStation, expanded storage for 50% off, some games, even Nintendo. Eric mentioned
Tears of the
this.
Kingdom is $55,
which is insane.
Just for shits and giggles, let's go see what Breath of the Wild is, because I get, if it's more than
it's
what
$50.
No comment. No comment. Game 6 years old, bro.
What's wild is that people will buy it though. That's what's crazy. I don't know why anybody does.
Game's older than my niece, bro.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Fucking
come on.
Crazy town. So definitely something to keep an eye out for all of our gamers out there. I mean, if you're listening to this, I would probably assume you are one. So definitely keep an eye out, because there are some pretty solid games out there. I think I may finally pick up Octopath Traveler 2. It's on sale for $30. GameStop is having a huge sale for brand new games. It's just if they have them in stock at your local stores. Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise is $5. I know is one of the ones that caught my eye. So be on the lookout for, local and huge retailers, because everybody's doing big deals trying to compete with those Prime Day deals. So
I walked into a GameStop for the first time in a while since I bought my PS5 the other day, and it's just like there's a ton of computer parts in there now, man.
There is, yeah.
Good for them embracing that, because man, for a long time, if you wanted the PC game, you could never do it.
No, you'd have to go online, Tiger Direct, or Amazon, and the
you
thing
can get
is,
stuff at Walmart and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But it's still like it's nice to see them kind of embracing modern times after they got saved by Wall Street bets.
Yeah, well, and that is what a fucking crazy story that is.
I need to go see that movie. I heard it's pretty good.
But honestly, it is kind of wild though, just to see how like commonplace it is to see PC gaming like in just regular retail now. I was at a Walmart recently and they have pre-builts. I mean, they've had pre-builts there for a while, but I mean, they have a decent selection. It's not just one computer now. It's like you can pick between 7 and they've got laptops and all that. I was talking to the rep at the store and I was like, I built my own PC, but honestly, like next time if I need one, maybe I'll just come here if it's easy and I could always just switch out the parts as I need. It's wild that it is so accessible for everybody, and I'm happy it's that way. Like you want it to be easy, and because if you have parents who want to get kids games, especially if they're looking to get into PC gaming, you're not going to trust a fucking 12-year-old to build their own PC because I'm 31 years old and it's fucking hard for me. So
yep.
It's one of those things that I'm glad to see that there has been progression on that, because I think it was needed, and it's only going to get better, I think, from this point.
And I remember when I first built mine, and I got it done, and I was so excited, and I hit the button to start it up, and it was fired up, but it wouldn't come on the screen. I was like, fuck. And I just remember going and looking in the back, and I realized that I had the HDMI cord plugged into the back of the motherboard and not the graphics card. And I was like, yes, that's got to be it. And as soon as I hooked it up, dude, it just came on. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm part of the master race now.
Yeah, getting those like pre-builds, and they'll have like an on-board graphics card instead of having its own standalone. So the first thing you need to do is get like a
new
video card.
And
yeah, that's like one of the things that if you buy pre-built, you're supposed to upgrade. Usually, like the motherboard is pretty crappy, the power supply is usually crappy, the RAM's usually like it's always like off-brand ish shit. So you always got to replace that. So it's
luckily RAM is pretty cheap these days.
Yeah, man, you can get. Let's go look.
Like
I've seen we have on RAM.
I've seen some of those like Walmart pre-builds actually come with like RTXs though, which is funny.
Yeah,
this was like during when you couldn't buy like a 1080 at all, even without being overly expensive. So you could buy this pre-build and get.
You can get Crucial Pro 32 gigabyte RAM today for $100. Like that's
pretty great.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's what I'm. That's
Corsair Vengeance, the RGB ones that I have, 32 gigs. That's $74. That's nuts. I think I paid like 160 for mine when I first got them a couple years ago.
I bought mine individually. It's just 216, so 32 total, and I ended up paying I think about $54. They were pretty cheap, and they're little just great sticks. I mean, I've had literally no issues with them whatsoever. So we're gonna level the mood a little bit here. Good friend of our podcast and fellow Saints Block Party podcast supporter, Rick Anderson, posted in one of our fellow Discords that he had his dog Joker pass away. First of all, I want to send huge condolences to Rick and his family. I am a pet dad, and as someone who's not going to have kids, it only kind of accentuates that feeling of how much those animals can mean. And especially when you have the animal for its entire life, it truly is part of your family. So we at Chocobo Chasers, first of all, want to give our condolences to Rick and his family. And we wanted to talk about this today because animals they're the best. Absolutely love them, want to kill them sometimes, but they're the best. As a dad of 3 cats and a dog, they make my life interesting, and try not to get too like sentimental about this, but I just absolutely love them. I know both of you guys are cat dads, and as we've seen them join the show from time to time,
Dashes is usually hanging out right underneath this flag.
Well, when we do our interviews, it'll be early morning, so that's when the sun's shining right through the window over here. So he wants the sunshine, so he likes to lay down right there. just the littlest floof. But
we wanted to also talk about, because games have also kind of provided us a unique outlet in terms of animal companions, whether it be dogs, whether it be cats, whether it be wolves, whether it be whatever. And there's kind of a lot of different animal companions that we've seen in games, especially over the last 10 years. I think that it's kind of become a new gameplay mechanic that has been, it, in the same way that it provides you with a companion in real life, you get this, just totally loving thing there that is just, it accompanies that relationship so well. So we wanted to take a second to also talk about some of our favorite animal companions in gaming. Dash, do you want to start us off?
I feel like you might already have this one, but I'm gonna do like this is like the bingo free space. We're gonna say Torgal from Final Fantasy 16. Obvious reasons. I mean, Torgal's an essential character with you throughout pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
And you get to see him go from a puppy to a fully grown wolf, and he even has his own interesting backstory with being kind of like having magical powers of his own, and also you get the backstory of what he did in those years when Clive was captured.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a heartbreaking story there already.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, yeah, Torgal's like the recency bias one.
Sure.
So let's go like older, and we could talk about like, I could say like any Pokemon, right? If we're gonna say like, Pokemon are animal companions. But I think the bond
Definitely.
that the most essential Pokemon, and the one that you're always gonna have the strongest bond with, is always your starter Pokemon. So those are like the most important ones. You start your journey with them. And I don't think anybody ever swaps theirs out of their party of 6.
Yeah.
You'd be crazy not to, or to do that, I'd say. So, but I mean, the star Pokemon usually have some of the best stats anyways, and usually can do a lot of the moves that you need them to, especially the water ones if you need them for like surf and waterfall and that kind of stuff. But what we got, like Shadow of the Colossus, Aggro the horse. I mean, just that horse is with you the whole game. And I mean, this isn't really a narrative game. There's no dialogue really, except for the god talking to you every time you slay a Colossi.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those games where it just, you see the link between aggro. It's probably, I'm not sure if it's
I think aggro is pretty close if it's not correct. So
yeah, but like like near the end of the game where aggro falls and pushes you so that you don't fall with her, but then comes limping in at the end of the game, and
yeah,
it's just those are like the animal companions I can think of the most. Far Cry also has some great ones actually. Like
they do.
Far Cry 4, you get 3, you get like the dog, a bear named Cheeseburger or something like that, right? And
yeah, I think so.
And then a cougar. I didn't play Far Cry 6, but I know you get like the chorizo, which is like a little wiener dog with it's like a paraplegic or something, so it has the
little wheels
the
or whatever
wheels
on the back. Yeah,
most adorable little fucker ever. It makes me want to buy the game. I haven't played it yet, but I might pick it up at some point.
That's a good one. Eric, what about you, man?
The dog from Fable.
That's a great one.
You get the choice at the end of the game where you take the money, the dog, or the sister. One, I didn't need the money, I was rich, and 2, fuck that sister. All right, give me my dog back. Just like kind of Dash said, the dog's with you the whole game. You're always, it does things with you. It can fight with you during combat and things like that. And it's just it's a bond you build with, and it actually helps me transition to my next game, because he talked about the horse from Shadow Colossus, but mine's the horse from Ghost of Tsushima, because that horse is also with you through the whole game. And well, not the whole game. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But that scene where like you escape and it takes a few arrows, and then you get the scene of it finally collapsing as it's trying to get you as far north as it can, and then Jin sits by it, prays, and then buries it. And you can even go back to that little landmark where it's buried and pay your respects to it. And so shout out to my boy Sora or girl, whatever it was, we'll never know, but that's what I named mine.
Same.
I think mine was like what, Nobu, I think.
Yeah, my second one was Kage.
That's my Nobu. Yeah, no, that's yeah, Sora was mine as well. So
yeah.
I would definitely be a one of the weird horse girls if I was a girl, I guess. I guess I'm a weird horse boy.
There's another horse too.
Yeah.
And
So
one more, Legend of Zelda.
Epona,
Yeah.
the
I was
goat.
thinking Roach too.
Yeah, Roach.
Yeah,
well.
Roach is on mine.
But it's the same thing goes to shoot. One of the roaches dies during Witcher.
Well, every horse that Geralt has is named Roach. So I think there's technically been like 7 of them or something, but they're all Roach, but they're all just the best.
Mhm.
We Dash, you had a really good one, like Pokemon in general. Obviously, that starter Pokemon is kind of the one that you probably are the most closely associated with. I know that another really good one is your horse in Red Dead 2, especially with that ending.
Yeah.
That's some stuff that tugs at the
Man,
heartstrings a little bit at the end.
What a fantastic game.
Yeah. You know what's hard is that I really love it, but the beginning is so fucking long that I don't want to restart it. So if I ever do, I'm just going to create a save right after that whole thing is done so that I can, just start over from that point every single time. But no, you guys have hit some great ones. I know that a really popular one is the dog from Fallout. Red 13 from Final Fantasy 7. Red 13's a little bit different because he's almost kind of his own person. I mean, he is his own person basically.
I feel like it's kind of an insult to call him an animal.
Yeah, he's an elevated being, I guess. But no, I think that it's funny. Horses are just kind of the one that I think tug at me a little bit. Roach, Epona, the horse from Red Dead, Ghost of Tsushima. There's so many kind of just emotional moments that you get to experience with those. Torgal is a great one, and Torgal's the best boy. So, and we didn't even talk about any of the ones from like Baldur's Gate, like Scratch or the Emperor or Your Majesty. I'm sorry,
the owlbear.
There's so many different options, honestly.
And if you didn't save the owlbear in Baldur's Gate 3, you missed a really badass ending with that thing.
You don't need to shame me like that.
Yeah, well, guess what? You're fucking shamed because it's fucking awesome.
I know what I'm gonna do on my second playthrough, so
Save the owlbear.
I'm doing it.
Save the owlbear. I'm just gonna have signs from now on every episode. Save the owlbear.
Just gonna get a t-shirt. So any others that you guys have?
We all kind of touched on the ones that I was gonna say. I don't have a whole lot more,
Yeah.
Dog meat from Fallout.
Yeah, we said that.
Yeah,
I'd say the Fallout 4 one especially.
Yeah.
Fallout 3
one's
one
pretty
was
cool. I like finding the third one. Because you find him randomly. That's not just like you meet him right in the beginning.
No, I think you get him at a very specific like junkyard area, I thought.
Yeah, but it's not like
you start the game and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, here's your dog.
Yeah.
You don't find him at the Red Rocket gas station.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice choice of words.
Just this perfect purebred shepherd 300 years into the future.
Yeah. It's got a little suit on.
The bloodlines go strong.
Yeah. Well, one last thing I wanted to just go ahead and touch on before we go ahead and close out tonight. We are nearing Thanksgiving holiday season, and that means next upcoming Chocobo Chasers giveaway we are going to press the envelope a little bit more this time around, meaning we're going to have more than one thing that we're giving away. And very, very excited to see, what the reception to that's going to look like, especially as we've continued to kind of grow our brand and continue to, add these wonderful guests. And we're continually looking at adding new people to go ahead and come on the show and explore, just a multitude of different topics. So stay tuned, because it's going to be a lot of fun. We are really, really excited to kind of share all this with all of you guys. And again, stay tuned, because next week we have a very special guest who we are very excited to share with you. So I think with that, I think we're all set. Thanks everybody for listening. We always appreciate you. If you want to go ahead and like, share, retweet, tell your friends, because the bigger we get, the easier it is for us to go ahead and get guests, to get people that you want to hear from. And so you help us, we help you. So I think with that, we're all set. And again, thanks everybody for listening. We will catch you guys next time.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Thank y'all.